What is up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Dose. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. So, you know what we got today? We got day number 257 today. 257. Mark 15 and 16 and Psalm number 102. Okay? So, let's just jump right in and see what all we've got going on. My friends. We have got Jesus before Pilate. This is a very interesting account for a number of reasons, an interesting story. And some of this I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on in regards to a chaotic serenity video that I'm going to be filming separately from this. But anyways, so starting at the beginning of verse 15, it says, "Very early in the morning, the chief priests with the elders, the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin made their plans." Okay, so we've got the chief priests, we've got the elders, we've got the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin. So it's like everybody's coming together, right? It's like you've got the Supreme Court, you've got the teachers, you've got the lawyers, you've got the police, you've got the FBI, the CIA. They're all coming together, right? And they made their plans. So they bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Okay, so apparently the Sanhedrin, which we talked about that briefly yesterday, the Sanhedrin, I guess, was not allowed to meet at night. It was illegal for them to meet at night. They had to meet during daytime, during daylight hours, I guess. So what they were trying to do here is trump up charges that Pilate would take seriously, right? Why did the Jews want to kill Jesus? Because he claimed to be God, basically, right? That was the main reason for blasphemy, because he was claiming to be one with God, right? Among other reasons, they felt threatened. They felt like Jesus was going to start up this new thing we call Christianity, and that it was going to cause problems for the Jews. So, long story short, there were a number of reasons that the Jewish leaders did not care for Jesus, but one of the main ones is blasphemy, right? He was claiming to be God. So, here's the deal. The Romans allowed the Jews to live in their city and to kind of do their thing, but the Jews apparently did not have the ability to inflict capital punishment, right? They could not execute people. At least they weren't supposed to be, according to Roman law, okay? So what they were trying to do is bring Jesus to Pilate, who was the local governing ruler on behalf of the Roman Empire, okay? And they were going to try to accuse Jesus of something to the Roman officials that they would take seriously enough that they would be willing to put Jesus to death, okay? So the Jews are thinking, okay, well, the Romans probably aren't going to care that Jesus blasphemed our God, right? That's not going to be a huge deal on the priority list of the Romans. So what can we accuse him of that the Romans might care about? And we see that over the course of them making accusations against Jesus, they accuse him of a few things. One is causing unrest, creating riots and dissension among the people, right? The next is we see the Pharisees trying to get Jesus caught up in a situation where it can be recorded that he was telling people not to pay their taxes, right? Which he doesn't actually do. He has a very creative way of coming out of that and says, give what to Caesar what is Caesar's, give what to God what is God's. We've talked about that, right? But then we also read some instances where Jesus is talking about being the king of the Jews, the Messiah, so to speak, right? And this is where they're really going to try to get him with Pilate, right? Wanting to be king instead of Caesar, which Pilate apparently considers to be the most serious offense because that is kind of the one that Pilate addresses, right? So here we see Pilate saying, "Are you the king of the Jews?" to Jesus. That seems to kind of be what Pilate gravitates towards, at least in the account that we're reading. "You have said so," Jesus replied. Interesting. So Jesus doesn't say, "Yes, that is true. I am the king of the Jews." Jesus says, "You said it, homie." Right? I wonder if anything got lost in translation there, or if it comes across just like that. Something that I picked up from a commentary says, "Many have been troubled by that, for it is neither an affirmation nor a denial, but simply, that is what you say." Am I the king of the Jews? According to your way of thinking, you would call me the king of the Jews. That's kind of in effect what Jesus is saying, right? Why is he not more positive? Why is he so neutral kind of in that statement, right? And then this commentator says, I think the answer is clear in John's gospel when we get to John 18:36 and 37. It says, Jesus went on to say, my kingship is not of this world. If my kingship were of this world, my servants would fight. Jesus here, it seems, he's making it clear to Pilate that his kingship that he's talking about is no immediate threat to Rome whatsoever, right? It seems as if Jesus is saying, I am king of the Jews, but I'm not going to come and try to overthrow the Roman Empire right now. So you're not under any imminent political threat from me, per se. It seems to kind of be what Jesus is getting at here, right? So the chief priests accused him of many things. So again, Pilate asked him, are you going to answer? See how many things they were accusing you of? But Jesus still made no reply. And Pilate was amazed, right? So it seems like Jesus potentially could probably be saying some things to clear his name right here, right? And it kind of seems like Pilate is almost looking for a reason to let Jesus go. Pilate doesn't want to get his hands dirty with this. He wants a simple resolution, it would seem. And it just, I get the vibe that Pilate is giving him a chance time and time again to say something that could clear his name, right? But Jesus is silent. And I think that that's one of the reasons why Pilate was amazed. Jesus is not trying to defend himself. He's not trying to beg for his life. He's silent. Okay? So then we come to the custom at the festival where a prisoner is released. The people can request a prisoner to be released at this certain festival, and that's what we're going to talk more about in a separate Chaotic Serenity video. So then we read a situation where the soldiers mock Jesus a little bit later on, and they begin to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Can you imagine? What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, the irony of it, right? That these guys are literally mocking the real king of the Jews, the king of the whole entire world, but they don't even know it. They don't even realize that he actually is, right? In a way, they're speaking truth, although they're doing it facetiously in their mind. So then we go on to the crucifixion of Jesus, and we get to a verse that says, "Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. Okay. So notice that the people in the crowd, the Pharisees, the Jews, that they're basically taunting and saying, look, this guy claimed to be the king of the Jews. If he is the king of Israel, let him come down, that we can see and believe. That you can see and believe like y'all haven't seen enough miracles, enough stuff that nobody other than God could do, healing lepers, restoring sight to the blind, restoring voice and speech to the mute, casting out demons, bringing people back to life, right? All of that wasn't enough for you to believe. Now you want to see Jesus hop down off the cross? Oh, and then you'll believe. Okay, right. I doubt that, friends. I doubt that. So then we read about the death of Jesus, right? So he's on the cross, he's been crucified, and then we get to the point where he dies. And it says, at noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. I wonder if this was a local miracle or a worldwide thing. I don't know. That's interesting to think about. Was there some kind of an eclipse, a natural phenomenon, something we would consider natural, that happened where it was dark for an extended period of time? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. But then we read that the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Okay? This curtain was thick. I believe it was made of various layers of cloth. And this curtain, I believe, symbolized the separation of the Jewish people or any people from God, right? The curtain is what kept people out. And when this curtain was torn, presumably by God, because it was torn from the top down, a man couldn't have reached up that high to do that. it seems to be representing that in Jesus' death, the veil's been torn, the barrier has been removed, a pathway into the temple, to the Holy of Holies, has been made. It's kind of what this seems to symbolize, right? And then, after the curtain is torn, we read that a centurion who stood there in front of Jesus saw how he died and said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." That's interesting, right? Because didn't we just read a little while ago about how the soldiers, presumably, quite possibly, this centurion, were mocking Jesus, casting lots for his clothes, hitting him, putting a crown of thorns on him? I wonder if this centurion was part of the mocking crew. And now, after he witnessed these final moments of Jesus, he says, wow, I made a mistake. This guy is who he said he was. Wow. So then we look at a section that talks about the burial of Jesus, and from there we go on to another section that talks about Jesus being risen. So that's what we've got for today, friends. I thank y'all for being here. Appreciate your time, and until we meet again, deuces.